Hi everyone. I wanted to work on another one of my pages in my altered book, and so I'm going to be just collaging down some painted paper bits and probably some napkin images and just making a simple page and having some fun. So now I'm going to use a little bit of gesso to tone down a lot of this color. I want some of it to show through, but a lot of it will be, you won't see it quite so vividly. Okay, so I guess you realize this is a page about fall with all the orange colors and all in here. But the images that I'm going to use are from some napkins. First of all, you might remember I used this napkin a couple of years back to make a gratitude journal cover. So I'm using these two images, which I've already cut out using my wet brush. And I'm going to put those on the page, kind of like this. Now I'm going to have to put down a little bit more gesso underneath these so that they won't blend into all that color that's still back there. That way they'll be a little brighter and they'll stand out a little bit more. And then in the center, I'm going to use, in this area, I'm going to use a die cut that I cut from this napkin that just has all these fall related words on it. So I did a little die cut, and it's going to go in the center right here. Okay, but I've got the same issue with all this color that, you know, is going to want to show through there still. And I put the lighter coat of gesso, the watered down coat, because, you know, some of these other areas I still want that color to show through, but in the areas where the napkins are going to go, I don't. So what I'm going to do is, or what I was thinking I might try, and now I've not done this before, so I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to move these for a few minutes, and I was peeling off the backing. This is still in one piece. It's two plies here, but it came off in one piece. So I wondered if maybe if I glue this down first, and then I'll know where to paint the gesso for this shape. So I thought that might be kind of a cool idea. I'll try it. It may come, you know, come all apart because I know this 2-ply thing, they don't always stick down too well. But okay, I've got to figure out now where I wanted this to go. Make sure I have it in the right spot. Probably doesn't matter too much, but I do want it kind of in the middle, or somewhat in the middle. All right, and then this one's going to go up here, maybe over to the side a bit. Yeah. All right. So let's lay this here and get an idea there. Okay. All right, I'm going to move this over, and first I'm going to just, well, I guess I'll just go ahead and use I've been using this fluid matte medium, not for any particular reason, just to use it up because I have it here, and you know, this stuff gets old if you don't use it, so, oops. All right, so I'm going to just put some of this down, and put that down. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And press this down. And yeah, it's a little bit wrinkly because that's what napkins and tissue paper and stuff does, but I just want to get enough on here to wet the tissue, and then I'll dry it, and I'll be able to see where to paint the gesso, is my hope. Okay, I'm hoping this is wet enough that it'll soak through and it'll stick down both of those plies of the napkin. I can see it lifting every now and then when I pick up my brush, but I'm hoping that when it's dry it'll be okay. All right, I might have gotten my little block on there a little bit crooked, so, of course, that's my natural way of doing things. So I'm gonna try to make a little bit of adjustment for that as I paint it, and just make sure I make it a little bit, like I don't have to fill in this entire thing perfectly. I just want to make sure that I get enough white on the background in the proper places. So just adding a little here and there and spreading it out, and then I can hopefully lay the napkin piece on straight when it's time. Just bringing this down a little bit on this side. The napkins seem to be staying down, so I hope that that's the case. All right. I think while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and add some of this gesso in these spots where these leafy items are going to go. Okay, so I've got my die cut piece in place, and I don't want to move it because I think I have it pretty straight. So I'm just going to go ahead and put down some of the matte medium and lay that down. Okay, then do this side same way. So after I trimmed the page out, I realized I'm looking at it and I'm thinking it needs something. And I decided that I think it needs a little bit more green in the background. So I'm going to stencil a little bit of just flourishy, leafy shapes in the background. This is actually the stencil I used for these pieces of the book text that had the little swirls on them, and most of that got covered, so we'll just put some back. I'm not sure how it's going to look, but we're going to just give it a try and just see how it looks. So I've got a couple of shades of green, a lighter one and a darker one, and I'm just going to kind of use them together on the sponge and just see what it looks like. If I don't like this, I'll switch to something else and we'll go from there. Oh, I do like that. That's nice. Yeah, that adds a lot to the page. Okay, now I'll do a little bit of something different. Just want to wipe that off a little on the back so I don't smear it places I don't want it. And let's see, maybe put a couple of these. Do a little bit lighter down here, and then if it needs darkening, I'll go back with the darker color. Okay. Yeah, that looks really nice. I like it. I'll put a little bit more of this one here. Go. Yep, it just fills it in and you can still see the color, and yet it looks like it's got more going on the page, you know. All right, let's see, what am I going to do on this side? This side is going to be more difficult because of the book, the way the book is, you know, it's not in the best shape. So, let's see. I might be able to prop up my book at the back here. Put a jar here and see if I can get it to stand up there. That might work. Could clip this to the cover. There we go. it's been a couple of days since I stopped working on this page, so I'm back today to finish it up. And what I just did was took some gold embossing powder and I embossed some little swirls. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'll try my best. There we go. And I stamped this little image, just a little swirl, and I stamped it on a piece of deli paper and embossed it so that it's a shiny little swirl. I love it. So I'm going to attach a few of these all over the page. I've got them kind of laid about here and there. And I don't want to put any of the matte medium on top because that will tend to take down some of the sparkle. So I'm going to just put a little bit of the matte medium on the back side of the swirl and then just stick it down like this. And the hope is that the deli paper, will disappear for the most part. And all you'll see is just the shininess of the swirl. I love that. And I didn't stamp directly on the page because of this issue where the book is so kind of wonky, and I knew it was going to be difficult to stamp and then get embossing powder all down in the book and stuff. I just didn't want to do that. But I did think it would be a pretty thing to add, so I just did it on the deli paper. You could probably do it on tissue paper too. I've never done that before, but it would be worth a try just to experiment with. I'd never done this before either with the deli paper, and it worked just fine. So I'm just kind of placing these around the page just to add a little sparkle. It's going to be so cute. I love it. And then I have one more thing to add when I get these on there. Let's see. This one's going to go kind of off the page a little bit, I think. Yeah, kind of right there. And then I'll trim that off in a little bit. Okay, got two more. But I have really enjoyed creating this page for fall. As the sentiment says, I love fall, I really do. And unfortunately, living in Florida, I don't get a whole lot of color change here, but I do love it. And we did live in Illinois for a few years, and I totally got some color change there and really, really enjoyed it. And I took so many pictures of a lot of really pretty things while I was there, and I'm hoping to share a lot of those with you guys when I start on my nature journal. I'm going to use a lot of my photographs, and so I hope that won't be too much longer that I'll get to start working on that. But I do have some new items in my Etsy shop. I have some napkin packs that includes a little bit of embellishments for fall, and they're all fall related, and they would be really fun to work with to create some cute little pages like this. And so if you're interested in that, there's a link to my Etsy shop in the video's description. You can check those out there in my shop. I will let that dry, and then I'll trim these couple off that kind of went over the edge of the page. And the last thing I want to add is, I'm going to just close up this matte medium here. I want to add a little bird. It's a chipboard bird, and I'm going to add some glue to it just to be on the safe side to make sure it sticks. But I found this in my stash of very old items, and so I want to include it on my page because it's just cute as it can be. There we go. And that should allow him to stick pretty well. I'm going to put him on this leafy branch right here. All right, I might have to put something on that to let him sit there for a few minutes without moving and not coming up. But that's my finished page. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this one come together. The bird is glittery too. You can see some shine on it. And of course my little swirls are too. Let me see if I can catch them in the light. There we go. You can see it a little bit there. There. So anyway, it was so much fun, and I hope you guys will add something fun like this in your journal, especially if you enjoyed the beautiful colors in nature in the fall. So, all right, guys, take care, and we will see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.